So you may or may not believe it, but in my experience and observations, there is such a thing as a deal with the devil. The classic trope is that you meet the devil at the crossroads and he imbues you with magical power to make you really good at playing the guitar, or gives you one of your desires in exchange for your mortal soul. So I think the way this actually manifests is when you begin to compromise your morality in order to get the means to an end. In my case at work, the man in question, the elderly person who behaved really poorly, like complete nastiness, something that there's no way that I would tolerate his behavior if it were one of my apprentices or general service techs. There's zero chance that I would tolerate that sort of behavior, yet I tolerated it in him just because of his ability to produce. Essentially, him making money for me. To the point to where the stressful part, just to give you an example of how much, to the point that without him, my paycheck is cut by a third. His production was that much higher compared to all my other staff. The deal with the devil, where the devil collected, was his behavior towards others, not merely myself, people that didn't have a say in his tolerance. So if I am able to tolerate him, that means that all of my teammates are now stuck with him. So unfairly, they have to pay the price for that deal that I made at the crossroads. Fast forward to it, obviously it was a blessing in disguise, him leaving, to the point when he stopped by. He visited a week or two ago, and he was on friendly enough basis with the owner somehow to do some personal work to his own car. We let him stop by and use the shop, and he was smiling, seemed lighthearted, but you could never tell with him, because if the way I try to explain it to people, if every day you come in and you get punched in the face, all of a sudden the day when you're not actually punched in the face for some reason turns into a good day, when it's just all the other days are so bad. And I think his behavior was perhaps trained by people's reaction to when he didn't act negative, and he just didn't know how to use his words. But I regret allowing that behavior to going so far that it hurt others that didn't have a say in it. If you got a say in whether or not a person is allowed to continue, that's one thing. But if you don't and you're trapped, that's got to be a nightmare, Fast forward to today, beginning of last week, we actually were able to hire on 2 individuals, one of which has an extremely positive attitude, and the other one is solid, but both experienced. So we ended up, in the long run, with more once we weren't relying so heavily and being trapped in the situation of this guy. And also, the people that are here now, their positivity, I don't think that type of a person is going to actually want to be around that type of bullshit that I was allowing to go on for so long. So, deals with the devil. What do y'all think? I mean, has that been your experience with deals with the devil? Like, the guitar thing, to get good at guitar, and the deal with the devil, the way I see it manifesting would be somebody spends so much time practicing and doing nothing else that literally they lose their soul around what they're doing. There's not necessarily soul in their music anymore. There's no soul in their relationships. That's the classic trope of Deal with the Devil. But I think there's many. There are many. The good news is, I think seldom it becomes permanent. Sometimes you get lucky and the Lord blesses you by pulling you out of it the way that I think he did for me. But here we are. All right, y'all. Be good.